It's Saturday morning and I'm out the back of the house while the guys are doing the painting indoors. My pessimism regarding the some of my plants is actually not quite as bad as what it was. You can see here that the I'll just try to get this one in picture. Switch, 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 switch. Switch, 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 switch. Okay, so here's the this is the spinach, and that's looking pretty damn healthy. I think that's healthier than what I got in both of those wooden planters. These ones I bought from Vietnam. They're not in Bunnings anymore. I don't know if that's because of an embargo or something because of COVID or whatever, but they seem to like it. They seem to like it. They're doing really well. They're thriving quite well. And I think they're doing better than when I had them in Parramatta Park in the flat. So I'm quite hopeful that those will keep growing quite well. I'm adding the Thrive to them, so well, hopefully that that'll do well. Here are my tomato plants, climbing tomato plants that I bought online from eBay, and again they're looking pretty healthy. These are more of the spinach in the cheaper potting mix. They are doing slightly worse, but I don't want to I actually transplanted a couple from this particular seed tray. A couple of them were doing rather well, so that's good to note. So those seed trays do actually provide some level of results. I'm getting nothing here, and I'm thinking that is actually the tray that holds the green peppers, the capsicums, and I'm just getting no germination whatsoever there, or very little. There is a little bit of life, but it's nothing to write home about. I have to wait and see whether that will improve. And I've transplanted the healthy spinach from the seed trays to these individual pots, and they seem to be okay right now, so it seems as if they're okay. Here I thought I had green peppers, but I've changed my mind. I think I actually planted the climbing tomatoes in here, and they've done pretty well. It's like a 50% germination by the looks of things, and they were planted later and they're doing quite well, so that's good news. The bad news today is I went down this corner near where the rubber tree was. You can still see the roots everywhere. Look at those root systems, very extensive. And this is the dead stump of the rubber tree. Now you can see that there's a huge plastic pot there. Unfortunately, it's totally embedded into the ground and disintegrating, so it's useless. Would have been great if it was intact, because it's quite a large one. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to just turf it, and the same for this one over here. I was able to salvage only one pot, which is about similar size to this one I've got the camera on at the moment. So that's a bit disappointing. So I've only added one to my collection. And the plants here are not doing well at all over here, where the they say to actually plant spinach directly into the ground is better from seed, but I see no evidence of that personally. They're doing better in the planters from what I can gather. Apparently they don't like being transplanted, but again, I haven't seen any evidence of great trauma occurring there. Only thing that's doing okay is mint, but any idiot, even an idiot like me, can grow mint. So, although I'm having a little bit of concern about the Vietnamese mint over on the other side here. There's one more spinach on this side. There was a couple I planted, but only one survived, and it's not exactly going gangbusters. You compare that to what's happening in the planters. Well, there's two actually. The other one survived too, but not going gangbusters. So I think they're that might be mushrooms growing there. I might be wrong. The actual cheap potting mix seems to do okay, but not quite as good as the Osmocote. So, you know, you do get what you pay for. And here's the Vietnamese mint. What it is doing is it's actually flowering. So maybe I just have to keep really watering it heavily, because it does droop pretty quickly. And of course this bottle brush is looking pretty healthy, and it's even got some new growth. But for some reason the other one is doing nothing. This plant's doing okay, although again when I bought it had a lot of growth. Now I can't see new sprouts much there, but it's looking quite healthy. But this is the ER of plant life in my backyard. This is looking particularly sick, this particular bottle brush. I'm hoping that this might be a climbing pea, a snow pea plant there, but it may not be, because I did actually plant a couple of those seeds in this particular area, and if it is, it's doing really well, but I've got a horrible suspicion it might be some other plant. So yeah, that's basically my update as far as the gardening is concerned. Yeah, I mentioned to Adam that I got a doubling of my electricity bill, and interestingly he said to me that the same thing happened to him when he moved from a flat to a house. He had exactly the same experience. So I'm just wondering whether there's something about moving into a house that causes the additional charges. What that would be is beyond me, and it shouldn't happen really if you're only using the same number of appliances. My light usage is definitely the same as it was there. TV usage exactly the same. Cooking pretty well line ball again. No, that was a worry. I was in the middle of recording something and it just turned off. I was just going through the list of things that haven't actually changed usage-wise, electricity in my place, and the bloody the camera just switched itself off, and that is a bit of a worry. I hope that's just a glitch that doesn't occur too often, because that's a bit of a pain in the backside. It does make a sound when it does it, so you know that something's changed, but there's no reason why it should have done that, because I think there's plenty of space on the card. I've actually ordered a new card, which is double the size of the one I currently have in this camera, so that will hopefully alleviate any issues like that and allow me to try shooting in 4K. So that'll be interesting to see, because I couldn't do it with the GoPro because it just overheated. But there's this camera's got a slightly different design that dissipates that heat, so allows you to actually shoot. And I've tried 4K on it and haven't noticed it heating up, so that should be okay. But yeah, Adam had the same experience as I did, moving to a flat from a flat to a house, and he said that he didn't think his usage had changed, but he'd had more than a doubling of the electricity bill. So I think I'd love to know what the rationale behind that is. I'm hoping that Ergon will give me a call early next week. They've got, like I said, 5 business days from last Thursday to do it, so I haven't heard from them yet, but if they don't call me, then I'll contact the ombudsman again, and I'll presumably give them a kick up the backside. Hoping they will anyway. Adam also said that he's fine putting in a raised garden beds for me, so that'll be great, because I'm really looking forward to getting a fern garden happening just opposite my neighbour's car park, so provide me a bit of privacy and quite a nice view from the kitchen window. And I also want to build a garden out the front, which is now covered by lawn, directly at the front of the house. That would also be quite nice, provide a bit more privacy and just be a nicer aspect out to the looking outside. Now I've got the garden cart, I can move all the dirt and mulch and what have you into those new containers and get it moving. But yeah, Adam said that's no problem to get that done, so that'll be good. Looking forward to it. And I'm also looking at this particular area here, which is the big veranda area. If there is a problem with the actual veranda, which is what the guy from from the roofing place that I contacted. They came up with this very big quote of $8,000. I'm just thinking, if it's got major works required, I'd like to actually change the whole setup here and probably have it in wooden lattice over here, letting a lot more light in. It'd be nice to have some protection from the weather, but I don't think it's 100% necessary for me. I'd like some. This cuts out a lot of light. It'd be nice to have something that's like wood framed and allows light to come through, and you can even have plants, climbers growing through it. I'd really like that. This doesn't do much for me. You can see there's a big stain there on that particular part, and maybe even extend it right round there. But this is apparently the problem area down the back. It may be, if it needs to be a major repair, then maybe just get a new rear put in, get this stuff removed, and come up with a new design. Because I'm not a big fan of this. I don't like the fluoros, and I don't like the way it's basically it is cutting back on a lot of light in the backyard. So I think it'll be the best of both worlds. But anyway, that's just an idea I've got. It's easy for me to come up with these grand plans, but I don't have to worry about the way to pull them off. And again, of course, I've still got to sell some damn shares to get myself a bit more liquid so I can do these grand plans. At the moment, I'm being fairly conservative. I've halved the mortgage, so I've halved the payments required, down from 160 a fortnight down to now about 86, and I'm paying 100. So I find that's a bit more in my comfort zone. So and as I say, in effect, it means my savings that I can draw on are actually earning about 2.7% interest. So it works out well all round. Well, just got a phone call from Ergon, who are the electricity suppliers up this way, and got everything resolved when it comes to the electricity bills. I'm not going mad. There was a reason for it, and the reason is actually in here. This is the culprit. This was really hot, but both that and the tap as well, the spout and the tap, because there was this constant hot water drip going down there. And I only discovered it at the beginning of this month in July. And what's interesting is that the lady from Ergon in the mob that do, well, their section of Ergon that deal with ombudsman referrals, she said she looked up the details for me on my account here, and she discovered that my electricity usage was really high up until about 3 weeks ago, when I finally discovered that leak, and I jammed it, the tap really hard, because the washer must be pretty stuffed, and then there was no flow, and about an hour or so later the spout was cold again, and so was the tap itself. So, and she basically said at the beginning of July, my electricity usage basically just plummeted, and she said that my next bill should be back to what I was normally paying, because apparently that leak was causing my hot water service to actually heat up 320 litres of additional water each day. And I think she said the average showers, people normally only use about 70 odd litres of water, and I don't stay in the shower that long, but it's just great to know that we've got to the bottom of it, and that's basically that's the culprit. So yeah, it was a great phone call. I got it all resolved, and I know I won't get another horror electricity bill. I mean, and again, it comes back to the bloody slackness of the agent is really what caused this, because this is the same agent that didn't even bother fixing up the switchboard to make sure all the circuitry was operating. In other words, when I got here, I didn't have any power points operating, simply because the agent was too slack to double check that it had all been right. And obviously someone maybe he'd done the cleaning or whatever before I turned up, had been in the bathroom and hadn't bothered to turn that tap off, because I hadn't touched it. I don't have baths, so I didn't touch the bath at all. So it's the first time I noticed it, just because of the heat coming off it, which is a little dangerous too. It could have burnt myself. It was that hot. So it's amazing how such a small leak can cause such an incredible ballooning of your energy charges. But that was it. And as the woman said, she looked up my usage in Parramatta Park and could see that I use bugger all electricity, even in spite of the fact that I've got a big screen TV that I use virtually every night for around 4 hours or so. So I give it a fair tilt, but that obviously uses nothing. The computer's the same. So yeah, that was a great outcome today. I should have gone for my walk. I didn't do my mental health walk, so I need to stick to something like that. But at least this has sort of perked me up a bit, knowing that I won't be ripped off by Ergon. Oh, other thing too, I got around to selling shares today with the almond producer, Special Harvest they're called, and they bounced back a bit today. Of course, well actually one thing I did today, which I've been saying to you, I've been meaning to do, is I sold them in 2 lots. So I had 2,000 shares, I sold 1,000 shares at the rate of, what is it, how much are they, I think they were $6.48, and then the second lot I sold at $6.53. And because I got the higher price on the second lot, I ended up pocketing about another $40 or so. Even just a slight difference like that makes a difference to the overall amount that you get for your share. So it's definitely worth splitting it. But of course, as soon as I sold the second lot, it jumped even higher. I hadn't even checked today how much it's gone up, but it went up to about 67 or something. So I just couldn't take a trick. I would have probably been another $150 maybe, I don't know, $100 or so extra in my pocket, but almost impossible to pick. So anyway, I'm still happy I sold them, because I've got extra money now to do renovations on the place, because I've seen some furniture. I really like it. Early settler here. I think they've got some nice stuff. And you know, houses can be a money pit. You can just keep spending and spending and spending if you want. But especially with a big place like this, I've got bugger all furniture, so I do need to get more stuff. And I don't know. I'd rather buy stuff from Gumtree second hand, furniture-wise, and save a lot of money. But Gumtree just isn't listing stuff. I think it's all to do with COVID. People maybe just don't want people coming around to their places and picking up furniture or delivering it. I don't know. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.